madly, insanely, desperately in love with you.
It's Innovation with the Morses, Rick and Mel, America's favorite couple. Yeah, right. No, we're our favorite couple though.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing. We like each other. So we just want to come on here again and say thank
you guys
to everyone for all the positive feedback that we received from our last video. I mean, the feedback was incredible. It's really awesome, and we really want to just let you guys know that we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to listen to us. Just talk. I mean, about how we open love drives with no money and just sharing our faith and you know, something that we're just so passionate about: people, our faith, our family, and our business. So we do want to just say thank you for watching. We do have a YouTube channel.
Yes, guys, you can go and subscribe to that. It's called Innovation with the Morses. Yes, it might take a while to find us, but you know, we on there somewhere.
You'll probably be like the first person to subscribe. Definitely gonna be the first. We should have gave away $1 million prize for the first subscriber in a form of an IOU. Right? Are you serious? I can't with you. Oh, while we wait on her to get herself together, this is all day. This is what we do.
Man, he's funny.
You want to know why our marriage is successful? Because we laugh at each other all day.
All day.
All night.
All night.
So, all right. So we want to talk to you guys about, you know, just moving on with your dream, even if you have experienced hurt or gone through some sort of rejection, maybe at the job that you're in, or just
felt unappreciated.
Yeah, or just in any capacity. And just how do you move past that to get to start the process of achieving your own dreams? I mean, because it's good to work for people, but if you have a dream, it's good to get your dream started. It's good to get out there and really start to do your dream, because you're going to feel so much more fulfilled when you get into actually accomplishing your dream. I know, like, many of the things that we talked about and many of the things before we actually went into doing our daycare, and let me say this, our daycare is not as big as we want it to be.
Nowhere near.
We're not doing these videos because we think we've arrived. That's not the point of these videos. The point of the videos is to kind of just take you on a trip with us in our journey. And even though our daycare is still both of our daycares are still pretty small daycares at this point, one day we'll look back and we'll see, you know, like they say, despise not the days of small beginnings. So we don't want you guys to think that we've arrived, because that is not the case. But like we were saying in the first video, if we all pull together, we all can just learn from each other, and we all can just move up and achieve our dreams
and grow together.
Definitely. So I just wanted to make that clear. But you know, even at our last place of employment, I mean, it was just, if I'm being honest and if I'm being transparent, it was just really like a toxic situation. I mean, even though it was family, and I just want to be very clear, like, this is this video is not to bash, but it's just to live in our truth and just tell what happened from our point of view, our perspective. I just remember it just being such a chaotic atmosphere all the time. I mean,
bad energy, bad vibes. It was one of those places where you ever feel like you just don't want to go to work today?
Like every day.
Every day.
And then it's like, not only that,
it's like, what am I going to face today? What do I have to deal with today?
Or what is my boss going to be mad at me about today?
That I really didn't do.
Or that you don't know that you did. And that's another thing, like communication. If you were thinking about starting a dream, thinking about being over people, you first must be a people's person. And if you're not a people's person, you can still be very great at what you do, but you have to assign the right team around you to deal with the things that you may not necessarily want to deal with or know that you're not good at. And
there are things that you're good at that I'm not, and I'm like, Rick, you handle that part. You know, we automatically know. You handle that, I'll handle this. It's just what we do. It works.
Right. I'm like, I know that I'm really bad at procrastinating.
Bad.
Like, I will wait until the last. It's like almost like my brain doesn't think until the last minute.
It's the
and
worst.
then at the last minute, I can do my best work. Like, it's like
phenomenal.
Crazy. But if I try,
For real.
like, if you give me a task and you be like, you got a month, if I start that first day, it's like my mind is just blank.
I don't understand it.
I can't do it.
I don't
But
get
you, on the other hand,
I gotta get it done. Like, I feel like it's a weight on my shoulders. You know, it can be not due for 3 more months, but it's like, I'm like, let me get it done now. Once I get it done, it's out the way. I don't gotta think about it. That's it.
and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because if you're gonna go and try to start your dreams, the first thing you need to do is self-inventory. What am I good at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? If I'm not a people's person, and I think that's what happened at our last place of employment. I don't think the owner really took the time to really sit and say, okay, now what am I strong at? And what can I delegate? What can I delegate? Because I don't really know how to talk to people. I don't really know how to say I want this done. So let me get a spokesperson that can say that the right way. Because if I say it, I'm going to blow up. And see, many times we have to understand that when you're working for somebody else, you're only there, or you've only been hired. You weren't there from the beginning of the baby being started. So there's a lot of personal commitment. There's like a lot of personal something. What's the word?
Dedication.
Personal dedication that the owner has to that baby, because they've been there since the beginning when you weren't there. They know the struggle of getting it open. So they're going to be a little bit more attached to it. They're going to have, their heart is going to be a little bit more into that business. So you can't necessarily blame them for some of their reactions. But at the same time, you have to be aware and understand maybe some of the whys of what they do. Now, it's okay if it's on a normal level. Now, if they're just tearing you down, that's something totally different.
Right.
But sometimes when you have those bosses, they put a lot into it. They put their own money into it. They've gotten those loans that they had the stress to pay. So it's a lot of different things that we as employees should take into consideration before we get so hot and bothered by what our managers do. But I would, like I was saying, our last boss, she didn't, in my opinion, I don't feel like she took the time to delegate what she was weak in. She tried to do everything on her own, and it just began to stress her out. And in return, the whole workplace was just stressed out. And even after we left, it stayed like that. And the one thing about it is, you're not going to be strong in everything.
Right.
So you have to delegate those tasks. So
that's why it's important to have the right team around you, which she had the right team, not just me and him, but it was other ones too, who were able to do things that needed to be done the right way.
We had a good team.
We had a great team, but it's like we weren't used
properly. We were used. We were used
for the right purpose.
You know, be willing to receive constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing that we are really big on. We're really big on asking people, how do you feel about this? How did that work? How is this working? How is that working?
And not only that, like, do you have any suggestions or ideas? You know, we're open to that, because we were unable to share and do.
Well, if we did, it was like the spirit of offense just fell in the room, and it was so dark that you didn't want to share. It's like, I'm just trying to help you. I'm not trying to hurt you. But if you can't accept positive criticism, constructive criticism, you're going to tear down your own business. Because anybody that's not willing to change, if you're not growing, you're dead. And that's a big thing. I remember, just feeling so like, I remember we got to the place at our last job where we just hated it. I mean, it just was like the worst. I mean, so much stuff had happened. And like I said, it was family. So it was a certain level of like respect that we had to have. And it was, just to be.
And there was a certain level of commitment that we felt like we had to have.
And I know that you really felt like a level of commitment.
Absolutely.
Because you felt like you owed it to the person because it was your relative. And then a lot of times, people will put stuff on you that's not necessarily yours. They'll put expectations on you, and it's their burden,
Right.
but they pass it on to you.
Yep.
And I feel like that's what happened to you a lot. And a lot of times, and I mean, like, to just be real, I feel like, you know, people do certain things and it's a form of control. And we don't like to talk about that. We don't like to say that, because when it's family, you don't want to like to think that family is trying to control you. But once you become an adult, like the Bible lets you know, when I became a man, I put away childish things. At some point, you have to have your own mind. You have to have your own will, your own destiny, your own dream. At a certain point, I can't get mad if somebody doesn't want to fulfill my dream. So when you're thinking about your dream, the first thing you want to do is, like I said before, you want to find out your strengths, find out your weaknesses, really do the things that you're strong at, like really do those well, and your weaknesses, get somebody else to do them. If you know that you're not the best talker, you may want to get someone else to do the talking.
And that's so important, because when you don't do that and you know you're not good at something, if you communicate wrong with whoever's working with you, it makes the person not want to work with you. Like, it's just what happens.
And not only that, learn how to talk to people. But if you're not a talker, get somebody else to talk to the person.
Right.
But make sure what everybody is saying is the same thing.
Exactly.
Don't say one thing to one individual and then I like to call it, you like to moonwalk when confronted with the same issue, and you act like you didn't. Like, let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. That's really big too. All confrontation is not bad confrontation. I don't know why people don't like to confront things. People get upset with me because I'm a very confrontational person.
Super upfront.
I don't sugarcoat.
No.
I don't beat around the bush. I say, this is what it is. This is how I feel. You may think something different, and I'm going to give you that respect to think something different. But at the same time, I'm going to let you know how I feel. If you come to me and you ask me, are you upset? If I'm upset, I'm going to say, yes, I'm upset. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I love you.
You have to be like that. Yeah, you have to be like that. Like, so many times we lose our dreams because we don't want to be honest. You have to understand, this is my dream. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to do it.
And either you're on board with me or you're not.
And if you're not, that doesn't make you
okay,
my enemy.
right?
That doesn't make you my
It's
enemy.
all right.
If you are not on board with my dream, like, we can still be friends. We can still be family. And see, that's where we messed up with our last place of employment. That person thought because we had differences of opinions that we hated her. That's ridiculous. Like, you cannot because you self-sabotage your own business. When we were there, we had a great team.
Right.
And in spite of us leaving, I remember I made a statement when we left. I said, until you fix the head, this problem is going to stay here. And they said that we were the problem. So we left. We removed ourselves from the situation. And month after month, we kept hearing the same stuff was going on. Because until you fix the head, the body's not going to act right. So, I mean, needless to say, that place is not open anymore, and we're still open. So,
and it was amazing, because that place of employment, you know, it really tried to stop our dream. And one of the things that boss did to stop our dream was they withheld what was ours from us. So, you know, we were due. Am I saying?
Yeah.
We were due some funds. They were owed to us for our work.
But the thing is, we didn't ask for it.
We didn't ask for it.
It was told to us that we were going to get it.
That we were going to get it. These funds. And our boss withheld those funds from us because they were afraid that we were going to take that money and we were going to open our own business. So they said, if I keep this money, they can't open it. And
I remember she said, "What, you think I'm going to give you the money so you can leave me?"
Yes.
And we were like, but the crazy thing
that
about
was never even
we
in my
weren't even going to leave.
Like
we weren't even going to leave.
It was like, had she gave us the money,
yes,
we would still be there. She would still be open. But it's a good thing that she didn't give us that money, because that's what ultimately made us leave.
You can have it.
And then that's how we started Love Jobs with no money.
Right, with none.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the amount that we wanted, was so big to us at
then.
the time.
Yeah.
But now you look at that
It's
and you're
like-
like, I can't believe I was gonna sell my soul for a bowl of beans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, but when you are just doing, like, if you are thinking about pursuing something that involves people, you have to do people right. You want to make sure that when you're doing your business or doing your dream, that the atmosphere is consistent. You don't want to be that boss that when you come around, the whole morale of the business just changes.
Yeah.
You know, you want people to be happy. You don't want them to be scared. You don't want them to be like, oh, well, Mel's here today. Like, we better be on our P's and Q's. Like, do what you're supposed to do. Always have that good spirit about you. And if something needs to be addressed, address it in a way that doesn't make people feel like they got to be on pins and needles, and just move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want happy employees. I remember we used to have the saying when I worked at PNC, happy employees sell. That basically means if the happier you make me, the more money I'm gonna make you. And that's basically what it is, and it's so true.
And where we were at our last place of employment, like when our boss wasn't there, everybody got along. We had fun. We laughed. We joked. We played. We just had fun. And then it was like the second she walked in the room, it was just like
Different.
the energy just totally went down. And you're like, what?
Everybody like running to the rooms, closing the doors, like. And then you have to say, well, what's the source of this? If you are gonna start a dream, make sure you start off letting whoever you start with, whoever you hire, whoever's a part of that dream, whoever you bring on, make sure you start off at a place of gratitude and letting them know that you're grateful,
And
that
you
they would even
appreciate
take,
them,
they would
yes.
take time to even invest in your dream. Even though you may be paying them,
Right.
they could be somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So
appreciation goes a long
way.
And we've learned that
That's the
the
truth.
hard way.
What they say, people don't quit jobs because it's a hard job.
Right.
People quit jobs because of bad management. And that is
True.
so
That's
true.
so true.
So if you are beginning to think about achieving your dream, and if that involves other people, make sure you're a people person.
Absolutely.
If you're not, then appoint people to deal with the daily affairs of dealing with people so that your business can go far and that it can go, where you see it. And
So all the things that you deal with on your job that are negative and that you hate and that you don't like, it's like try to be the opposite once you get your own business or once you do that dream or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Be the opposite of what you hated, because you know what it feels like to be tore down. You know what it feels like to be unappreciated. You know what it feels like to be overused and overworked. It's like, you know what it feels like. So you don't want to do that to other people. In the end, you're only hurting yourself. You're going to wake up and you're going to look around and look at your business and see that it's only you there. Everyone.
that is so fake. Hello, everyone. This is not of God. No. All right. All right. You ready? Mm-hmm. Hello. So our next. Why? How can the first one be so easy and this one be so difficult? Okay. All right.